Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm just sitting here in my robe drinking my morning coffee looking sexy as hell as usual. And for those of you who say I don't look sexy as hell when I do these videos in my robe, nobody cares what you think. I didn't ask you shit. Now, a question that I tend to get increasingly over and over, and I don't like to answer it, and the reason I don't like to answer it is that me actually making public statements answering this question may actually hold back the progress of many powerlifters. And that question is, what powerlifting program, they'd say program, do you recommend for a powerlifter at this or that point? Well, here's the reality of it. I have met very, very few powerlifting champions who only run one or two programs. And there are at least 20 different vastly successful programs out there that have built both drug-tested and untested champions. Some people are going to respond better than others to a certain program. So if I get up here and I give an endorsement of, hey, this program right here is really good, what's going to happen is that 100 of my younger powerlifting subscribers are going to go get on that program, and they're not going to experiment with the other ones. And when that program isn't working ideally, because some of these programs only really work for 6 to 8 weeks and then you go to something else, or you'll tend to stagnate, or 12 weeks or whatever, for at least for intermediates. Because honestly, if you're a novice, you should probably stay on the same program for about a year. Build a base. But they'll stay on these programs and then they won't change to something that's better for them, maybe because I gave that advice. And then they're going to stall in their progress, or they're going to stall in their progress and they're going to blame me for giving that advice. Because I probably did give bad advice by just suggesting one. Now, there are programs out there that I don't think are very good for guys who aren't on a hefty amount of gear. And that's any program that has you, say, squatting at a very, very low frequency. If you're not squatting at least twice a week, that's probably not ideal. And even guys who are doing the low frequency ones, I don't think that if you're on a gram or less of gear, that you should be doing a program like that unless you're just so strong already that you need that for recovery purposes, and then the drugs will help keep the neural efficiency up. So I don't like to recommend those type of programs, but outside of that, all of these different things work. Everything from the programs that Dan Green puts out work. I know natty guys and enhanced guys who've done that. Same with like Mike Tershier's RTS stuff. My friend John, who beat me at that meet, who has a 410 raw Wilks, never touched a drug, doesn't even use creatine or whey protein, has a 410 raw Wilks at 5 years of training. He runs RTS. He hired Mike to coach him last year. A lot of guys are successful on 531, but some flounder on it. I'm a big fan of guys building a base up on stuff like, particularly for intermediates, on like Bill Starr's 5x5. But there are countless other programs out there, and some of them are more aggressive than others. And a lot of guys will say, well, what about Chico and some of these others? Well, I would tell you on something like Chico, that's a little more advanced. It's more of an intermediate. And if you're only squatting 315 pounds for a few reps, I wouldn't run a program like that. I would stick to something more basic instead of some of these Russian squat programs. But there are a lot of really good Russian programs out there also. There's just so many options available to you. They all work. I would say with most powerlifters, try some of the more popular programs if they seem appropriate for your experience level. Run them for 2 or 3 months. See how you get on. And if you get really good results, save that program for later, because you're probably going to run a different program for another 2 to 3 months. Maybe every 3 months you switch programs around, but keep a hold of the ones that give you good progress. Make notes. If something really gives you good results, run it once a year. Or you could run full systems like the RTS or some of the stuff Dan Green does. You could talk to him, get some programs. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there by really successful champions who work with both drug-free and heavily enhanced guys. There are coaches who work with both very successfully. Look into the programs that they put out, or run any of the proven cookie-cutter programs that people have run for decades. And build your foundation. At the end of the day, they all work, and you're going to get out of them what you put into it. If you train hard, follow any of the proven programs correctly, you eat correctly, rest correctly, you're going to get a lot stronger. That's really what it comes down to. So no, I don't like to suggest specific programs because of the fact that I might be holding people back by them thinking, well, if Jason endorses it, I love Jason's work, maybe it's the best program for me. and they might keep running it over and over, and it's not the best program for them. So that's why I don't like to do that. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.